Scriptures, the second book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 2, chapter 5. When Sheth was 7 years old, he knew good and evil, and was consistent in fasting and praying, and spent all his nights in praying to Elohim for mercy and forgiveness. He also fasted when bringing up his offering every day. He fasted more than his father did because his demeanor was beautiful, like that of a messenger of Elohim. He also had a good heart, and his soul was precious, and for this reason he brought up his offering every day. And Elohim was pleased with his offering, but he was also pleased with his purity. And he continued doing the will of Elohim and of his father and mother until he was 7 years old. After that, as he was coming down from the altar after giving his offering, Satan appeared to him in the form of a beautiful messenger, brilliant with light, with a staff of light in his hand, and wrapped with a girdle of light. He greeted Sheth with a beautiful smile and began to beguile him with beautiful words, saying to him, "Sheth, why do you live in this mountain? It is rough, full of stones and sand, and trees with no good fruit on them. It is a wilderness without houses or towns, no good place to live in, but everywhere there is heat, weariness, and trouble." He said further, "But we live in beautiful places, in a world other than this earth. Our world is one of light, and we live in the best conditions. Our women are more beautiful than any others. Sheth, I wish you to marry one of them, because I see that you are handsome to look at. In this land there is not one woman good enough for you, and there are only 5 souls in it. But in our world there are many men and many young unmarried women, all more beautiful one than the other. So I wish to remove you from here so that you may see my relations and be wedded to whichever you like. You shall live by me and be at peace. You shall be filled with glory and light, just as we are. You shall remain in our world and rest from this world and its misery. You shall never again feel weak and weary. You shall never bring up an offering or appeal for mercy. You shall commit no more sin, nor be swayed by passions. And if you will listen to what I say, you shall wed one of my daughters, because to us it is not a sin, and it is not considered animal lust. For in our world we have no Elohim, because we all are Elohim, and we all are of the light and are of the Shamayim, powerful, strong, and glorious." The second book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 2, chapter 6. When Sheth heard these words, he was amazed and began to believe Satan's treacherous speech, and said to him, "You said there is another world created other than this one, and there are other creatures more beautiful than the creatures that are in this world?" And Satan said, "Yes, you have heard me correctly, and I will tell you more good things about them and their ways." But Sheth said to him, "Your words have amazed me, and your beautiful description of it all. But I cannot go with you today, at least not until I have gone to my father Adam and to my mother Hawwah, and told them all you have said to me. Then, if they give me permission to go with you, I will come." Sheth said, "I am afraid of doing anything without my father's and mother's permission. I do not want to perish like my brother Cain, and like my father Adam, who transgressed the commandment of Elohim. But you know your way to this place, so come and meet me here tomorrow." When Satan heard this, he said to Sheth, "If you tell your father Adam what I have told you, he will not let you come with me. But listen to me. Do not tell your father and mother what I have said to you. Instead, come with me today. Come now to our world, where you will see beautiful things and enjoy yourself there, and celebrate this day among my children, watching them and taking your fill of happiness, and have joy there. Then I shall bring you back to this place tomorrow. However, if you would rather stay there with me, so be it." Then Sheth answered, The hope of my father and of my mother hangs on me, and if I hide from them one day, they will die, and Elohim will hold me guilty of sinning against them. And if they know that I have come to this place, they assume it is to bring up my offering, and they would expect not to be separated from me 1 hour. Neither should I go to any other place unless they let me. But they treat me most kindly because I always come back to them quickly. Then Satan said to him, "What will happen to you if you were to disappear from them one night and return to them at break of day?" But Ch5, when he saw how he kept on talking and that he would not leave him alone, he ran and went up to the altar and spread his hands to Elohim and sought deliverance from Elohim. Then Elohim sent his word and cursed Satan, who fled from him. But Ch5 had gone up to the altar, saying in his heart, "The altar is the place of offering, and Elohim is there. A divine fire shall consume what is on it, and so Satan will be unable to hurt me, and shall not take me away from here." Then Ch5 came down from the altar and went to his father and mother, whom he found on his way, and who were longing to hear his voice because he had been missing a while. He then began to tell them what had befallen him from Satan under the form of a messenger. But when Adam heard his account, he kissed his face and warned him against that messenger, telling him it was Satan who appeared to him. Then Adam took Ch5, and they went to the cave of treasures and rejoiced there. But from that day on, Adam and Hawwah were never separated from him wherever he went, whether for his offering or for anything else. This sign happened to Ch5 when he was 9 years old. The second book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 2, chapter 7. When our father Adam saw that Ch5 was of a perfect heart, he wanted him to marry, lest the enemy should appear to him another time and overcome him. So Adam said to his son Ch5, "I want, O my son, that you wed your sister Achliah, Abel's sister, and that she may bear you children, who shall replenish the earth according to Elohim's promise to us. Be not afraid, my son, there is no disgrace in it. I want you to marry, from fear that if you do not, the enemy could overcome you." Ch5, however, did not want to marry, but in obedience to his father and mother, he did not say a word. So Adam married him to Achliah, and he was 15 years old. But when he was 20 years of age, he had a son whom he called Enosh, and then had other children. Then Enosh grew up, married, and begot Cainan. Cainan also grew up, married, and begot Mahalalel. Those fathers were born during Adam's lifetime and dwelt by the cave of treasures. Then were the days of Adam 930 years, and those of Mahalalel 100. But Mahalalel, when he was grown up, loved fasting, praying, and with hard work, until the end of our father Adam's days drew near. The second book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 2, chapter 8. When our father Adam saw that his end was near, he called his son Ch5, who came to him in the cave of treasures, and he said to him, "Ch5, my son, bring me your children and your children's children, so that I may shed my berakah on them before I die." When Ch5 heard these words from his father Adam, he went from him, shed a flood of tears over his face, and gathered together his children and his children's children, and brought them to his father Adam. But when our father Adam saw them around him, he wept at having to be separated from them. And when they saw him weeping, they all wept together and kissed his face, saying, "How shall you be separated from us, Father? And how shall the earth receive you and hide you from our eyes?" Thus they lamented with words like these. Then our father Adam baraked them all, and said to Ch5 after he had baraked them, "Ch5, my son, you know this world, and that it is full of sorrow and of weariness, and you know all that has come upon us from our trials in it. So I command you in these words. I want you to keep being innocent, to be pure and just, and trusting in Elohim, and do not believe the words of Satan, nor the apparitions in which he will show himself to you. But keep the commandments that I give you this day. Then give the same to your son Enosh, and let Enosh give it to his son Cainan, and Cainan to his son Mahalalel, so that this commandment abide firm among all your children. Ch5, my son, the moment I am dead, take my body and wrap it up with myrrh, aloes, and cassia, and leave me here in this cave of treasures, in which are all the tokens which Elohim gave us from the garden. My son, after a while a flood will come and overwhelm all creatures, and leave only 8 souls out of it. But, my son, let those whom it will leave from among your children at that time take my body with them out of this cave, and when they have taken it with them, let the oldest among them command his children to lay my body in a ship until the flood recedes, and they come out of the ship. Then they shall take my body and lay it in the middle of the earth, shortly after they have been saved from the waters of the flood. The place where my body shall be laid is the middle of the earth, and Elohim shall come from that place and shall save all our kindred. But now, Ch5, my son, place yourself at the head of your people, tend to them and watch over them in the fear of Elohim. Lead them in the good way, command them to fast to Elohim, and make them understand they should not listen to Satan, or he will destroy them. I tell you again, separate your children and your children's children from Cain's children. Do not let them ever mix with them, nor come near them either to talk or to work. Then Adam let his berakah descend upon Ch5 and upon his children, and upon all his children's children. He then turned to his son Ch5 and to Hawwah his wife, and said to them, Preserve this gold, this incense, and this myrrh that Elohim has given us for a sign, because in days that are coming a flood will overwhelm the whole creation. But those who shall go into the ark shall take with them the gold, the incense, and the myrrh, together with my body, and will lay the gold, the incense, and the myrrh with my body in the middle of the earth. Then, after a long time, the city in which the gold, the incense, and the myrrh are found with my body shall be plundered. But when it is spoiled, the gold, the incense, and the myrrh shall be taken care of with the spoil that is kept, and none of them shall perish until the made man from the word of Elohim shall come, and sovereign shall take them, and shall offer to him gold in token of his being sovereign, incense in token of his being the bane of Elohim of the Shamayim and earth, and myrrh in token of his passion. Gold also as a token of his overcoming Satan and all our foes, incense as a token that he will rise from the dead and be exalted above things in the Shamayim and things in the earth, and myrrh in token that he will drink bitter gall and feel the pains of Gehinnom from Satan. And now, Ch5, my son, I have revealed to you hidden mysteries, which Elohim had revealed to me. Keep my commandment for yourself and for your people. The second book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 2, chapter 9. When Adam had ended his commandment to Ch5, his limbs went limp, his hands and feet lost all strength, his voice became silent, and his tongue ceased to speak. He closed his eyes and gave up the spirit. But when his children saw that he was dead, they threw themselves over him, men and women, old and young, weeping. The death of Adam took place at the end of 930 years that he lived upon the earth, on the 15th day of first month, after the reckoning of an epact of the sun, at the 9th hour. It was on a 6th day, the very day on which he was created, and on which he rested. And the hour at which he died was the same as that at which he came out of the garden. Then Ch5 wrapped him up well, and embalmed him with plenty of sweet spices, from sacred trees and from the Kodesh mountain. And he laid his body on the eastern side of the inside of the cave, the side of the incense, and placed a lampstand in front of him that kept burning. Then his children stood before him, weeping and wailing over him the entire night until break of day. Then Ch5 and his son Enosh and Canaan, the son of Enosh, went out and took good offerings to present to Yahweh, and they came to the altar upon which Adam offered gifts to Elohim. But Hawwah said to them, "Wait until we have first asked Elohim to accept our offering, and to keep the soul of Adam his servant by him, and to take it up to rest." And they all stood up and prayed. The second book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 2, chapter 10. And when they had ended their prayer, the word of Elohim came and comforted them concerning their father Adam. After this, they offered their gifts for themselves and for their father. And when they had ended their offering, the word of Elohim came to Ch5, the eldest among them, saying to him, "Ch5, Ch5, Ch5, 3 times. As I was with your father, so also shall I be with you, until the fulfillment of the promise I made your father, saying, I will send my word and save you and your seed. But as to your father Adam, keep you the commandment he gave you, and protect your seed, and keep them from that of Cain your brother." And Elohim withdrew his word from Ch5. Then Ch5, Hawwah, and their children came down from the mountain to the cave of treasures. But Adam was the first whose soul died in the land of Eden, in the cave of treasures. For no one died before him, but his son Habel, who died because he was murdered. Then all the children of Adam rose up and wept over their father Adam, and made offerings to him 140 days.